Just keep at it, Miles, and I think one day you'll be an even bigger Spider-Man than me. You really think so? Absolutely. I did not think it would happen that fast. Welcome to 5 points of articulation and to a very special video. Today we're jumping into the Spider-Verse with a look at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Miles Morales Spider-Man. Huge thanks to Sideshow Collectibles for sponsoring this video and for sending me this figure to review. Be sure to check out their link in the description below. Given what a premium item this is, I'm going to forego the points today and treat this as more of a showcase. Starting off with the packaging, and this beauty so big it doesn't even fit in frame. Into the Spider-Verse logo up in the corner with the city turned upside down. Really cool spot varnished artwork of Miles in the center. On the side we've got more Miles, and on the other side we see him unmasked. Flipping around back, this might actually be my favorite part. Yes, it's all the boring legal stuff that nobody reads, but they actually use Kingpin as a giant caption box. And that was just a slipcover for a window box inside. Oh, do we have a lot of goodies to go over. Moving on to presentation, and being a 1/6 scale figure, Miles stands at 10.5 inches. The first thing you'll notice is that unlike the figures I normally review, this one is a highly articulated body with a cloth goods costume. It perfectly matches Miles' costume in the third act of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Recall that Miles had just taken a regular Spider-Man costume and then spray painted it to match his own aesthetic. As such, you can see that classic Spidey costume poking through. The webs are shiny and stand out really nicely, and the texture has that kind of live-action Tobey Maguire feel. What really made this costume his own were the red accents that Miles added to it. I'm no seamstress, so I can't tell you exactly, but it feels like a kind of stretchy vinyl material, but the edges are very naturally fuzzy, as if it was spray painted on. I gotta admit, it's a really cool effect. Speaking of cool effects, we have to talk about this head. It's plastic, but the texture from the fabric has been painted on, so it blends in seamlessly. I also really love the eyes. Not only do they have that little blue accent, but the lenses themselves have a pearlized sheen. There's actually even more to these eyes than meets the eye, but that's a conversation for playability. Just like the mask, the hands are plastic, and they also blend in seamlessly. You can see how they fade from the spray paint to Spider-Man's original gloves. It makes sense that Miles would keep those uncovered since it could interfere with wall crawling. Same thing with the bottom of the feet, which very cleverly has the fabric costume tucked underneath. Translating anything animated into 3 dimensions is a challenge, and I've got to imagine something as stylized as Spider-Verse was uniquely difficult. Sideshow has done an astonishing job of translating this into real life. Moving on to posability, and it's unlike any action figure experience I have ever had. Naturally, the articulation is hidden by the clothes, but you don't see any kind of bunching or joint sticking out. The head's in a dumbbell joint with another joint in the base of the neck. This creates a very realistic range of movement. Miles can look up this far down, unreal amount of tilt, and since it is a dumbbell joint, all the way around. Moving down, he can raise his arm this high. I'm assuming there's a rotator cuff in there because he does get a bit of rotation, as well as forward and back. Again, I just love the reflectiveness of the webs. Traversing down the arm, he has bicep swivel, double jointed elbows with a very deep, natural bend, and then popping the hands off, we can see they're on mushroom pegs. They can swivel, and depending on which way you point them, hinge either up and down, or side to side. Moving to the middle, and Miles definitely has a diaphragm joint, and I'm assuming a dumbbell waist. He can arch back this far, which is fantastic, and he can hunch this far forward, which for a diaphragm is spectacular. Naturally, Miles also has a great amount of tilt and twist. Of course, had I read the instructions first, I'd know that not only is there a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist, but there's an additional joint in between the two. I'd have also known that all the joints are pinless, and that Hot Toys is incorporating new engineering to make the articulation even better. Below the waist and the legs are on kind of a ratchet system. He can kick about 90 degrees, and split this wide, which is about as much as I'm willing to challenge these tights. Moving down the leg though, and he has thigh cut, buttery smooth, double jointed knees, toe articulation, and ankles that can swivel side to side, hinge, and pivot. There's an intuitiveness to this articulation that's really impressive. The joints are tight, but smooth. I feel like I'm working dealing with a stop-motion puppet from a movie like Paranorman or Coraline. Moving on to playability, and hands down this is the best part of this figure. For on the top, and remember when I said in presentation that there was more than meets the eye to the eyes? Well, it just so happens that there are 6 additional lenses. They're actually magnetic and swapped out using this flashlight-looking doodad. Ugh. In addition to these normal lenses, there are these very narrowed, intense ones, these equally serious medium ones, and these very astonished bug eyes. My favorite part is that you can mix and match them to make even more expressions. As for hands, I gotta hand it to Hot Toys, they sure gave Spidey a lot of them. We've already seen the fists he comes preloaded with. He's also got these relaxed ones, a couple of wall-crawling ones. I like these ones because they're properly bent down to the fingertip. Of course, since this is a high-end collectible, Spider-Man doesn't just come with a pair of web-slinging hands, he also comes with web lines. They've been packed in foam, so you know they're fancy. Compared to Spider-Man, the spider webs are very thin, but they're a soft enough plastic that I'm not worried about breakage. He's got 2 short webs and 2 long webs. And notice the tips on them. That's to accommodate this effect. Just stick it on and there you go. That said, you might be wondering where these go. In one of my favorite bits of engineering for the figure, the web holes are actually in the wrist balls. They slide in like so. Compared to other Spider-Man figures where the webs wrap around the wrist, this is very natural. Lastly, Miles has a long web with a drag line for holding, and a couple of web line holding hands. The web line slots snugly into either one. In combination with other hands and web lines, it creates a very authentic web swinging effect. The set also includes not 1 but 2 additional heads with their own unique features. Oh, and just to clarify, these stands are not included. First, we have this partially unmasked one. Just like the regular head, all that texture detail's been painted on. I feel like it should go without saying, but the eyes are not swappable on this one. As for his actual eyes, they exude confidence. They've been painted exceptionally well. Same with his little smirk. The second head shows off his warmer, more lovable side. This time he's got a much fuller smile, and the eyebrows are raised in a more puppy dog way, and he's even got some lines on the forehead. To me, the real standout part of this head is the hair. There's a great level of texture, and I could be wrong, but it does seem like there's a little bit of paint in there too. There's another feature to this hair that's also really impressive. It can be pulled off. Ha! That's how it feels! Remember, because he pulled her hair off? Forget about the Spider Society. What Miles really needs to join is the Hair Club for Men. Similar to the lenses on the mask, and the hair is actually magnetic. It's not just the hair though. Also, the mask. For the ultimate in swappability, you can give this face the mask, and this face the hair. For more Miles' personality though, and we can't forget his fit. Not only did Hot Toys wrap it in plastic, but they also included a cardboard insert to help it hold its shape. The shorts have a kind of denim texture to them, but I'm way more impressed with this tiny belt, especially the buckle and clasp. Oh, and it's not just decorative, by the way. You actually need to loosen the belt and open the pants to get them over his legs. And voila! Snug as a bug. As for the coat, it comes in 2 layers, and both layers have working zippers. It doesn't have any sleeves so as not to interfere with articulation. As for the outer jacket, it's 2 layers so it's nice and puffy. There's elastic in the cuffs, faux pockets, and his little badge. Altogether, he's looking great so far, but there is one thing missing. His kicks. Nice job painting the stitches around the soles, and really great tread underneath. Although they are solid, there is a little bit of give on the tab. They've also done something I've never seen in an action figure where you have the option of either the laces being undone or alternate tied laces. The fact that somebody even thought of that boggles my mind. And fear not, true believer, the shoes are soft enough to wiggle over the feet. On the one hand, these do eliminate the toe articulation, but with a larger surface area, it does make Miles even more stable on his feet. But let's say you want even more of Miles' personality shining through. In addition to the shorts and jacket, he also has these street clothes. Obviously, you can't take the costume off, but you can put this rubber sleeve on. Talk about rubbernecking. Same with these calves and socks. Then just slide on the clothes and there you go. Just don't forget the alternate Miles Morales hands. Speaking of hands, he also comes with this alternate accessory holding one. That's for a can of spray paint. Just look at all the tiny print. Even the fine print on the back. Not only that, but it even opens. At this point, if you told me it actually sprayed paint, I'd probably believe you. He's also got this note, his stickers, which I'll be saving for another time, and his store-bought costume. This is just a prop, mind you. It's not meant to be worn. And that's a good thing, because I have a feeling it probably wouldn't fit anyway. It always fits. Eventually. Of course, you've already seen the figure stand throughout the video. The base itself is really nice. All those Spider-Verse graphics printed on, and Miles' name on the front. The actual arm itself is the really cool part. It's made out of a bendable metal, same principle as the desk lights. Because of that, it's really firm. I also like how the back of the clamp has this nice soft padding to cushion the figure. One of the benefits of a big bulky jacket is that it does a great job of hiding that clamp. Capping the whole thing off is this colorful cardboard backdrop. It's covered with graffiti, Spider-Man iconography, onomatopoeias popping out for an extra layer of depth, and this uniquely shaped base, perfectly designed to fit the flight stand. Putting it all together, and Miles is literally bounding out of the Spider-Verse and into your universe. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Looking around online, and I'm seeing third-party sites charging as much as $500 for this set, but you can get it directly from Sideshow.com for only $263. Obviously, a high-end collectible like this is quite an investment, but when you consider all the swappability, it's almost like you're getting multiple figures. But even if all we got was this would have been enough. Once again, huge thanks to Sideshow Collectibles for making this video possible. Don't forget to check out their link in the description below. If you like this video, check out one of these. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.